Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and today is June 6th. We are back with another Legend difficulty Lost Sector. We are on Europa. Perdition is the one today, 1310 difficulty, and we are getting the exotic legs dropped. So if you are looking for your Season of the Splicer exotics, you can farm them here today. Now, I do want to ask you guys, if you want to see this at Master difficulty, comment below, and I can totally put that video up tomorrow if you guys are interested in that one. If you just, are good with farming Legend, that's totally cool as well. But our modifiers, we've got Vex Champions, so we're going to be dealing with Barrier, and those are going to be Hobgoblins, and then Overload for Vex, which is going to be Minotaurs. Those are the fun ones. Now, your destination modifier is arc and aerial damage taken is increased, so you're going to be taking more arc damage, and on top of that, the burn, which is incoming and outgoing damage, is increased, but that's also for arc. So arc damage is definitely going to be kicking your butt. That being said, it is against Vex, so there's not a ton of it coming in. You do have some splash damage to worry about, so let's cover all the pieces. First, Anti-Barrier Scout. There's a lot of things that you can hit at range, and Anti-Barrier Scout, you can just kind of, tick away at their damage pretty well. Overload Hand Cannon, I'm still feeling the Hand Cannon over the Submachine Gun, your total preference there. If you want to run something like Risk Runner, I know some people might have some fun with that one. It could honestly be extremely effective in here. There's only a couple shields you need to take care of, and I'm not even factoring that into my weapon. So if you want to run Risk Runner for your for your Overload weapon, that may be a really, really powerful choice in here. So consider that one if you feel like you want to use that one. I'm going with basic, like legendary across the board here, no exotics. So I'm using Survivor's Epitaph just for a hand cannon. Main thing you want to do is make sure your energy weapon is arc. So if you want to run Risk Runner, if you want to run a hand cannon down here, Finite Impactor, Nature of the Beast, whatever you want, make sure your energy weapon is arc. The main reason is you're going to have a lot of harpies both in the beginning and then towards the end that are going to be arc shielded. So you're not going to want to try and depend on, down here. Now, if you have the Swarm for a heavy weapon, you could probably be covered here. I know not everybody has the Swarm, which is going to be the machine gun from the Nightfalls last season. So again, I'm going with something just completely ridiculous, a sword. You could use a rocket launcher. You could use a grenade launcher. My advice is just make sure your heavy weapon is arc, so you get the most damage output possible out of your heavy. And then make sure your energy weapon is also arc to make sure you can manage the harpies. Now, as I said, if a machine gun is down here, you're going to have enough bullets to manage the harpies. That probably will work. Otherwise, make sure your energy weapon matches. Now, I would love to be using Salvager's Salvo and say maybe the Swarm, have a whole lot of fun blowing stuff up, but you do have two Void Minotaurs that you do need to deal with in some way, shape, fashion, or form. You could probably kill them with a sword or like a grenade and still probably do enough damage, but I'm just running a Sentinel subclass here, pretty standard, just to make sure I've got a couple grenades for those guys. If they miss, you might have to bust out the heavy. Even if you die a couple times to those guys, not the end of the world. Remember when you're going through, whatever your heavy is, make sure your ammo finder, make sure your reserves, and make sure your scavenger all match your heavy weapon. And then when it comes to your chest piece, you've got a couple of options. If you've got a void chest piece, there's a decent amount of void splash damage coming at you in this one. So if you can, instead of having arc resistance like mine, if your energy type is void, I would potentially throw a void resistance up here. The other option, as it is a lot of splash/area effect damage, concussive damper will help that as well. So you got a couple options there. I am using reactive pulse, just one of those things I tend to leave on. Protective light is a nice one with charge with light, but I don't even know if I'm going to get charge with light in this thing at all, because none of my stuff is masterworked. I'm not going to be picking up a lot of orbs. So let's go ahead and jump inside, and I'll show you guys how this works. Again, if you want master difficulty tomorrow, comment below as well. So here we go. All right, so first thing, I usually literally just sit up here on the top of the stairs and start shooting the harpies. Nice thing is they're all arc shielded, so if you find them in groups, they do tend to chain together. Once the Hydra comes out, use the railing and use kind of your elevation as cover. You can start working on the harpies. Just be careful as they start shooting you. So that's all the splash damage that I'm talking about, is mainly the Hydras, and then also the boss will be doing the same thing. And then at this point, you can honestly sit back here and shoot this guy enough. And nice thing about Barrier, you can just shoot straight through the shield, still doing damage. And pretty much get this guy down to his last quarter of health. Once you get low enough on the health bar, and if you don't go too far forward, nothing else spawns. So if you stay back here and don't cross basically the stairs, you'll only have the Hydra to deal with. He might be popping back and forth, might have some weird angles. That's why, jumping back and forth up here can give you a shot sometimes that you might not have otherwise. Tends to be a little annoying, but if you can get the health low enough, usually he'll shift around at some point. Wow. He may actually have just teleported out. So at this point, if you get his health low enough, he will just move on to the next room and you'll see him later. So once you cross down here, you'll see some more stuff start spawning. So again, once that spawns, totally, honestly, a nice, safe way to do this is jump back up to the same set of stairs we were on before. There's going to be the Minotaur down there I was talking about, but also a lot of Harpies to deal with. Again, this is why an arc weapon here, and also why I prefer a scout, gives you a little bit more of safety back here. Now, you guys can see that I can slowly work the shield down. So you theoretically don't even need to run an arc subclass here, or a void subclass, just to be able to take care of them. Just wanted to show you guys, you could sit there and whittle away at the damage. I don't know if barrier's helping me cut through a shield, whatever it may be. You don't need to run arc, but if you want to run arc for the couple Minotaurs, I'll show you another place where it's helpful. Now, once you get far enough up again, pull back a little bit. I kind of wish I had some primary ammo, but I don't seem to have much at the moment. But barrier on a scout works really well because you're able to do a lot of things from range. Breaking the shields, shooting these guys. There's a lot of work done at range. You got a couple hobgoblin snipers back there, so watch out for those. You can take those things out. You can shoot through their shields, remember, when they pop those up. If you make them mad and blow their head off, they'll be shooting you. All right, so that should be most of it out there. The Minotaur usually hides, you can literally see him right there, hiding behind that piece. So, it is an overload champion, so you're going to want to kind of get him aggravated, but also make sure he's close enough to you that you can do what you need to do. So, if I shoot him once and pull him to me, I'll usually pull back. Again, more void splash damage. Void resistance or concussive damper is going to be a good thing. Try and get those 3 shots. I'll use my, like, 1 shot there to really take him down, and he goes down quick with the sword. That's, again, where your heavy paired with an arc heavy, or your heavy being arc, works really well with the burn. And you guys can see here, Desolate charges plus 50% arc damage dealt and received. It's huge. You want your heavy to do as much as possible. You come up the stairs, you're going to have some guys that'll be coming around the corner. You're also going to be seeing 1 Minotaur. So I would pull back a little bit and just be ready. As soon as you see the Minotaur, there's the other overload guy. Pull down the stairs and see if you can get him to follow you. If you can stun him, same thing as before. Goes down really, really quickly. Now, I'd like to pull him down the stairs. You saw those Fanatics pop up on the screen. The Fanatics slowly charged together, and I, like, swung my sword last time I ran through this and killed myself right here. So be careful of the Fanatics. If the overload charges you, you can run all the way back down almost in the starting point to get them to reset, and then deal with the Fanatics and kind of get some space between you and them. Looks like I did get a little heavy drop. Once you run up far enough, you will see some more stuff spawn. You're going to start to see, again, there's the other Minotaur. I'll kill him with the grenade as I was kind of explaining. Get him to charge up a little bit on me. And again, the key about the teleporting guys is you got to throw it right when they get out of their teleport. And almost you have to plan for it. So it's like you're almost throwing the grenade before he appears, but you're kind of timing the cadence of like teleport there. Teleport there. And like right before he appears is when you want to throw it, or pretty much know right as he appears that that thing's going to hit him. And if you miss the grenade, swing the sword, it's probably going to do enough damage, it's not going to matter. Now back there's going to be a barrier hobgoblin. You can honestly put a lot of work in, hence why I'm preferring the scout rifle as opposed to the submachine gun, just because I can do this. And our Hydra's back, he finally shows up. So once you get to see the Hydra, again this is why the scout rifle, nice. Whatever your barrier option is a nice way to shoot straight through a shield, go for the head, and get the crits you need. And then just be ready to shoot the hobgoblin. Again, the nice way, keep enough in your clip, so if the shield pops up again, you're good to go. But if you match, again, your barrier weapon to the weapon you're using a lot, since it's arc, I'm getting a lot of damage out of arc weapons, and therefore able to put out a lot of damage. Now, we're going to have 2 wyverns that come in here. This is, again, where your heavy is going to be useful. They will pop down the stairs a little bit. This is where the sword that's able to put in a lot of damage on these guys is nice. You can finally see their crit spot. I can't stand when these guys just... You can pluck away at a wyvern with a primary and never see their crit unless you do a chunk of damage. And they're just annoying. But all the area of effect blast damage that you're going to have coming your way, it's a nice way to manage it because that thing can travel and still do a ton of damage from range. So, you may not have this sword. Any arc weapon will do. A basic grenade launcher is still going to pump out a crap ton of damage, so just use what you can. But I mean, Temptation's Hook is not one that's exactly hard to get. You just may not have one if you're brand new, but it is just a basic legendary sword. Gonna have a few more goblins and then another barrier guy up top. So you got a couple ways you can find this guy, depending on where you find him, where he chooses to break his shield. I like to get him at the top of the stairs. Again, they have an arc shot, so they won't typically be able to hit you. Wait till he pops his shield, break it, I can throw that sword up there. Okay, that's the... Okay, he like ate the shield, the sword throw, but that's fine. Again, reload halfway through your clips, because if he does pop the shield, you want to make sure you can always break it. Only takes about 3 or 4 shots with the scout rifle. You just don't want to miss out on the ability to break the shield. That was so weird. It ate the shield throw. Then once you walk up here, you're going to get all the enemies to spawn. Along with the boss, there are no more champions, so you could just nuke the boss if you have a super. And as I showed you guys, you really don't need to have like a Void subclass, but I did want to show you there are a couple Void Minotaurs, so if you want to manage those in a safer manner, you know, a grenade might work as opposed to a weapon, so your subclass is an easier way to make sure your weapons are always powerful. And then from there, you can still manage those couple Minotaurs with a grenade or two. So this guy, if I can get it to track, it's going to sit there and, you know, tick a decent amount of damage on him. Once you do about 1/3 of his health, which seems like I did get him about 1/3 down, you'll get a wave of ads to spawn. A couple hobgoblins to watch out. Everything else is pretty painless. They are throwing heavy ammo at me last time. I just got done doing this, and I literally didn't get heavy ammo until this room. So if you run low on heavy, just take your time and take it slow. But yeah, this guy, if you can get a decent shot in, obviously you got to be grounded for the heavy to actually throw. But if you can get that thing to hit him, since it's arc and heavy, you're seeing I'm taking like... Okay, he literally just died. There's like 2 sword throws, and he's down. So that is why your heavy is important. If I hit him with a rocket, I'd probably take like a chunk of his health off with every rocket as well. Tracking would help so he doesn't strafe away. Make sure you don't have tracking on your rocket. Shoot the floor. Grenade launcher, same thing. All of it's going to be ultra powerful. Up here, you can use whatever. As you can see, I barely used my hand cannon this entire thing. Mostly just the scout. And that is basically it. So the legend difficulty in Perdition is not too bad. If you guys do want to see master difficulty tomorrow, I've done it before, so I could do it again for you guys. I just got an exotic on my last one, so it's probably not going to give me one twice in a row. But that being said, that is Perdition on Legend here for June 6th. You can get legs. Let's get back to the planetary surface, and we'll wrap this up. Alright, so basically, as you guys saw, the 2 Void Minotaurs, seems like your barrier weapon's probably going to be able to take care of them anyway, or your heavy weapon if you break the shield. So you can mostly run whatever you need for, you know, subclass. And heavy, I would recommend arc. And your energy weapon for all the harpies, again, an arc scout rifle seems to be extremely useful to pair with the burn, the damage you can do, and pretty much where you can kind of tick away at everything at range pretty safely. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions about anything or more stuff you want to see from me. You also can find me over on Twitter, and then streaming on Twitch. I am working my way through Mass Effect on stream, and then of course always Destiny 2 on Tuesdays, mixed in with other things. It's about to be a very busy week coming up with E3, so stay tuned. Lots of streaming probably coming from me about that stuff too. So thank you guys very much. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.